Hello and welcome to Tech 18. I'm Mohammed Adnan, and in this video, we are going to discuss about real-time analytics in Microsoft Fabric. But stay tuned till the last because I'm going to share one information which is really an important thing for your further real-time area. So if you are new to this channel or if you haven't subscribed yet, just click on the subscribe button and also press the bell icon to get the latest notifications. Now let's get started. So real-time intelligence in Microsoft Fabric. All right, so we'll talk about this now. So here, if I go to the next slide, so there is a paradigm shift in data consumption. So in the past, accessing data was a challenge. Usually, if you want to read a book, then we'll go to library and then pick the book from there, and then we'll book on that. Or we can order something on the online in the recent state, and then we'll buy that book from the online like Amazon book here, and then we'll read the book on that. And then if you want to watch a movie, then we'll just go to the cinema theater and then we'll buy the ticket and then watch the movie on the cinema theater. And also if you want to listen any music, then we'll buy a kind of CD or cassette here, as you can see it on the image. Maybe some of them are not even aware of the cassette here. Because if you are in the 30 or 40s, then you might have aware of that. But if you are a new generation, then you even not aware of what is a cassette here. But still, those are the days where people used to use the data as a kind of consumption here because like books, cinema, and even the music is also kind of data itself. Now, but in today's world, everything has come into one single handheld device, which is a smartphone here, right? So with the help of the internet, the data consumption is seamless. We can read the books, ebooks on the mobile. We can also watch this movies, OTT platforms here, and also we can also use the music as a kind of MP3 in our mobile itself. So there is a lot of consumption changes into our daily life here. But when it comes to data consumption, we are still a little bit lag behind. So there are a big data platform. We need to have a terabytes of the data, which is transferring day by day with the help of the OTT and other things here. And it actually transforms with the low latency speed here so that we can also view without any information, without any buffering onto that here. So these are all things which comes by default for the new data consumption option here. But when it comes to enterprises, they are still behind in handling real-time data consumption. So the reason is because it's high complexity because they are still using the old ERP systems into their organizations, and there is a low skills which they have into the environment because the learning curve is huge. So they are not actually adopting that, and the high cost of existing solutions. So they are, whatever they are using right now is actually high cost, and to want to convert that, they are feeling that it's kind of high cost and then integrating between the different teams. So that's also a challenge for the enterprise organizations here. But with the help of real-time analytics, it's no more, right? It help organizations to scale up their analytics solution and democratize data for advanced and citizen data scientists here. So real-time analytics is built on top of Azure Data Explorer engine. So that's the beautiful thing here because this is actually a big thing because Azure Data Explorer actually plays major role for the real-time analytics here. So what is the use case here? So it's reducing the complexity in Microsoft Fabric by using that. So we have one logical copy of the data because data is stored in the one lake in the one location. And by default, it has a streaming ingestion and also has indexing everything. We have time and hat space partitioning, native support for structured, semi-structured, and free text data. And also we have a UI itself where you can do in data transformations here on the fly itself. That's a beautiful thing. And it's also simplifying the tightly integrated with Microsoft Fabric experience. We have a mirroring in the Lakehouse options where you can make use of that. And by default, integration with Event Hub streaming also. And we can also integrate this with directly in Power BI for the reporting purpose. And it has a beautiful no-code, low-code UI experience where you can make use of that and build our reporting on top of that. This is how the overall look and feel mostly for this Azure real-time analytics here, where we can get the data from different sources. It can be structured, semi-structured data here. We will ingest the data and then we will use the KQL as a kind of backend for this Azure Data Explorer. And we're going to store the data into the lakehouse here and then we'll use the further for reporting purpose. So where we can going to use this real-time analytics here. So this is the kind of common question which I usually have. So it can be used in inventory management if you're going to happen about what is arrival which you have an asset tracking kind of thing. You can make use of that. And we can also control the quality control, because if you're going to live production and you want to monitor the quality of your output, then you want to monitor in the real time, then also we can make use of that. And environment monitoring, that you can monitor over the weather, temperature, and everything. You can also make use of that. And fleet management is also important thing, because if you're shifting anything, if you're transporting anything which has to be maintained in different conditions, has to be maintained at below 0 degrees Celsius kind of thing, then you can use of IoT devices on the flight and the fleet itself, so that you can monitor the real-time data within that. Healthy and safety, obviously, it's no need to discuss on that, because it's obviously the important factor which you need to make use of that. But basically, if you have a time-based events that requires data streaming, likely telemetry data, then the real-time analytics, you are in the right place for that. So wherever you have a time intelligence, time-related data, if you want to analyze, then you need to use real-time. You can use real-time analytics for that. It is not like you need to compulsory use the real-time analytics, but if you want to make use of real-time intelligence analytics, then you can make use of this option here. So like I said in the beginning of the video, real-time analytics is now real-time intelligence. Even if you see on the first slide, I just use the real-time intelligence itself, not the real-time analytics. Because now this is the combination of real-time analytics plus data activator here. So what about the data activator? We are going to discuss that in the future videos. But for now, let's assume that real-time analytics is for the ingest the data, and then you can do the transformation on the live, which is the data in motion, and then you can also build the Power BI report on top of that. Whereas the data activator is actually plays a role. If you have any kind of abnormalities in your data which is coming in motion, then you can trigger something else, and you can send an alert for the users. You can also use Power Automate to do that for the further analytic and reporting purpose on that. That's the beautiful thing of data activator, and combination with real-time analytics is called real-time intelligence. So that's all about the theory here. And we'll now show into demo how it actually works. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel, and then see you in the video. Hello and welcome to Tech 18. I'm Mohammad Adnan, and in this video, we are going to discuss about real-time intelligence in Fabric. This is an amazing thing which has done in Fabric, and this is a collaboration of Synapse Real-Time Analytics plus Data Activator, which are going to cover that a part in this video and a part in the next video. So now I will share my screen. While I'm sharing my screen, if you're new to this channel or if you haven't subscribed yet, just press the subscribe button and also press the bell icon to get the latest notifications. All right. So moving on, as you're aware that I'm just doing this kind of exercise from this Microsoft Learn document, I will also add the description on this video so you can check it out. So get started with real-time intelligence in Microsoft Fabric. Microsoft Fabric provides a runtime that you can use to store and query data by using Kusto Query Language, KQL. Kusto is optimized for data that includes a time series component, such as real-time data from log files or IoT devices. So in simple term, if your data is in motion, like continuously you are getting some data from your IoT sensors or from log analytics kind of thing, log files, those things if you want to analyze, then KQL, which is Azure Data Explorer, that's the behind the scene. So that's basically the default choice, because that can handle a large amount of data within lightning fast speed. So that actually we are going to cover today. And then we can also, if you want to store the data, then you can store the data into a lakehouse for further analytical purpose. So first of all, we need to create a workspace as usual, which we do in our exercise, as we already have a workspace here. So I don't want to cover that now. But first of all, I just need to create a folder here. So create folder and RTI, I just give it a name here, real-time intelligence, and going inside to the folder. And now on the left bottom, I have Power BI. If I click on that, then here I need to select real-time intelligence workload. When I click on that, this is the home page where I can create event house, KQL, query set, real-time dashboard, event stream, and so on. But first of all, I need to create a KQL query set and a KQL database for that. Right. So let's go back to the workspace here. And the new, if I go inside to the RTI and click on new, then here I get the related item, which is for KQL specific thing. I can create a query set here. I can create a lake house. I can create a warehouse and other things here. So first of all, let's create a query set, which is refers to, if I zoom in here, run queries on your data to produce shareable tables and visuals. So let's create a query set. We need to give it a name here. Let's give it here RTI underscore demo underscore 01. Oh, I just typed RIT. It has to be RTI. Yeah, it's not an issue. It is loading up here. So as we are getting up daily basis of the data, and data is increasing day by day, so we had to do that. So here you can see we have this many of your data here, which is the sample data available on our tenant here, which is coming from taxi data, my stock data, my KQL, and New York taxi data. If you want to connect any of those, we can connect through that. Or else, if you want to create a new database, then you can also click here, click on new database, and then you can give it a name here. So here I had to give it a name here, db underscore KQL underscore, this has to be real time intelligence underscore 01. And the type here, this has to be, it is now asking about two options, new database or new shortcut database from somewhere else. So I just want to click on the default now, but click on this one. It's going to create a new database for us. And let's open up another page here. Yeah. So here we can get the data from different sources inside to this database. So one is sample data, another is local file if you want to upload something, or else you can connect to your OneLake, which is here itself, and Azure storage if you have Event Hub and pipeline. That's the beauty of Fabric actually. For every resources you can connect from, you can get data from multiple tools and technologies, whatever feasible for you. And based on your requirement, you can get that. So here we have these many samples and other things. You can also connect to Azure storage and Amazon S3 here, and also Event Stream here. And if I click on new, then it's asking about table functions or OneLake shortcut, or also I can click on query set, which I already have. So let's now add a sample data for this demo purpose. And I'm going to cover other topics as well on the future videos, as this is getting started series. So I just want to cover it with the sample data here. Click on the sample data. I can also select any of this from the sample data and then do the work. But for now, I'll try it out with the local file. So I just want to open up here local file, and I have the information available here. So let's go back to this one. Yeah. So it is asking about create a new table. Yeah. So it is asking from the local file and create a new table. Click on the new table here. Just give it a name, which is I'd like to give the name about KQL sales, and hit done. And here is asking about browse a file or drag and drop. I just want to click on browse file and place this one, select the sales from here, which is a CSV file, and click on open. Once I do so, it's going to upload the file like how we usually do it on the OneLake. Similar here. So now if you want to add further more files, you can click on the add file and then click on next here. So it is now viewing up the CSV file. It understands the CSV file at the format. It can support multiple different formats here. And this is the name. So this is a preview of the data. So first row is header. We know about that. So just click on this option, the toggle to be on. It converts the first row to be header here. That's beautiful. So click on command viewer. So this is how it has the command. So like we have how for Power BI, so for Power Query. So we have similar for the KQL also here. And if I click on finish now, then it's going to load the data, create the table, and load all the information here. And you can also see the status which is showing up here. It's going to create a blob name on this one, successfully ingested. All right, so what can you do with the data? So now that you have ingested the data, you can explore, run queries, and visualize the data using the dashboard. So explore the result, undo ingestions, or create a new dashboard. So we can have multiple things. So let's start first with exploring the data. KQL is actually simple in terms of how you query your data. So this is the sample which has given up here. The options here are the two articles to help you get started with KQL, and use take. It has already given a simple instruction how we need to use here. Use take to view a sample number of records on your table and check the data. So your table here and take 100. So it's going to load top 100 rows from the table. And if you want to count the many number of records, you can just use count here. But the thing here is you just need to type your table name, and then you need to enter and use the pipe here, which is kind of bar, and give it a space and take 100, for example. So let's try it out with this one. So my table name here is, you can see KQL sales. So KQL, which is on the small one, KQL sales. Yeah. So if I select this one and click on run, I can able to see the data which is showing up here. That's cool. If I expand to this arrow here, it's giving me the detailed information in the JSON format, looks like. Yeah, you can see the information, same thing, but it's giving up here in this format. And similarly, if I just select this one, KQL sales, I'll just change the name of the table and click on run. This time is giving me 32,718 records here. All right, this query returns the number of ingestions per hour in a given table. So let's type here KQL sales. Summarize ingestion count. Count bin ingestion is number of hours. So I click on this one. So for first hour, it has given as 32,718. That's what we did. We just did a sample manual upload. So that's the reason. But if you have a huge number of record, then in that case, if you are continuously loading up the information, then you can give the information. I mean, it will show you the information about hourly basis. So that's what it is given up here. KQL says take 10 is going to give us the top 10 records here. All right, that's all we can do that. Here from if you want to save your KQL query set, you can also do that. Or if you want to build a Power BI report, you can also build on top of this one. So if I click on the save as a KQL query, so I can give it a name here, KQL RTI01 and click on create. It's going to create a new query set. And that's the same thing which we are connected previously. But actually, the database which we created here is we built the query set first, and then we have created a database here, right? That's part of the procedure. We'll also look how we can directly create database, and from there we can move from here. All right. So once we have the query set, and then we need to build the Power BI report on top of that. So if I click on the Power BI report, it has opened up this one. This will look like similar to the Power BI report what we usually have in Power BI desktop, but in reality, you can see it will look a bit different actually. So it can have only one table here and brings up everything. We can have a quantity, for example, by customer name, and all the other visuals, everything looks similar here. But we don't have much control. It's just a part of visualization here. Let me see if I can create a measure. We cannot create a measure on this one. This is the kind of telemetry data which is continuously flowing up. So we can just use transform, and then if you want to build something, we can use the query set and build a report on top of that. So this is the one it is showing up here. And if I turn this on, the data labels, yeah, it's giving up the information here. So let's turn this off a bit. As we have only one record, it is showing up like this, but let's change the graph itself here. Here is axis, and I just want this to be customer name and sum of axis. We only have one quantity, that's the reason it's showing up like this. But if I change this to be sort by sum of quantity, that's good. Let's move this to be item and then quantity. Yeah, now you can see it is showing up the value about if I increase this one, it's giving the value about 3, 2, 1. Yeah, based on the value it's showing up here. That's cool. So if you want to save this one, we can click on save this report here and give it a name. Actually, this has to pick automatically, but it's not picking up here the workspace. But anyway, we can just give it a name here, demo underscore 01 hyphen 01, and click on continue. It's going to save this Power BI report on this, and then we'll see what we can do with the Power BI report. All right, report is saved here, and click on close, and this is also done. So first of all, let's close this one, and let's go back to the workspace. And here on the top, if we can click on this one, and we don't see here KQL database. So if I click on more options, and here we have multiple things. And if I click on KQL search on the browser, yeah, as I'm into this homepage of real-time analytics, usually there must be an option about here to create a database of KQL. It is not here available. And even I just check on the workspace level also. Here, if I click on this one, I don't have an option to create a KQL database here. That's strange. And even if I select into the more options, it is not yet available to create a database of KQL here. It means we can create a query set, and from there we can create that as a kind of UI. That's what we can do here, or else we can create an event house, which we're going to cover on the next video part. From there also we can create that. And yeah, I think that's the one. So if I go back to the workspace and then look for the Power BI report which we built, This is available on this part itself, right? KQL, this is the query set. And this also, this one, where is the report actually? Which I developed the report of Power BI. If I go to the home page here and let's see if I have this report open up here. Strange, the report is not available here. So let's open up this KQL query again. And here on the top, we have an option about build Power BI report. If I click on that, yeah, so here you can see the tables and list of column. So let's add an item to the value section and also the sales amount, which is the quantity. For example, we can add it here. Okay, this is the graph. And this one, if I just change the font size to be 20, so that this can be easily visible for us. Yeah, we have this quantity of all the items. That's pretty good. So let's save this one. We have multiple options here. We can use this one, text boxes, but we don't need that. There is still not fully fledged Power BI. You can feel still they are bringing up everything here. So we need to select a workspace here and give it a name, which I'd like to give here real time intelligence underscore 01 and click on continue. This is going to save the report on that workspace and then it's giving a message here. So let's wait for that message. So your report is saved. Open the file in a browser to view, edit, and get shareable links. So click on this one. Yeah, this is now full-fledged here. If I click on edit again, and I can see this information, that's pretty amazing. And then if I want to add another visuals, for example, so here, and let's this time this has been instead of this, let's add a customer name. Yeah, it's showing up here every time the 10 itself, not a problem. So then click on file and save. Report is saved. So let's go back to the workspace here. Now you can see a new report is added here, RTA01. Yeah, maybe yeah, we need to refresh the browser to load it here. Now you can see this report added with the data set here. And let's move these two things and the query set everything into this workspace, this folder. Clicking on the move and then click here, move here. Now, being in this report, which is the RTI1, if I go inside to the RTI folder, this is the report. Selecting on this one and click on lineage view, just to understand how these things flows now. So here, this we have a KQL database, and from that we created a semantic model, which is directly connected to the KQL database, and then we have built this report here. But even though we have built this report directly from the KQL query set, but the linear view shows that it is actually connecting directly to your database, not through the query set it's going up here. All right. What's next? So if I click again on the list view and go inside to this RTI, I have this required fields, which is here, which is a KQL query set and other things. But initially we created one KQL query set. While starting up this video, from there only we connected to created the database. So if I open up that one, which is I think this one, RAT, I just added that. So here you can see it has added this one, and here again we have an option to create a new database, or you can select from here. So here we have a connect OneLake Data Hub, or you can also select Azure Data Explorer here. So in this case, we have it here is Azure OneLake Data Hub itself. Sorry, OneLake Data Hub, and from here we select this one. This is the one which recently added, right? Yeah, exactly. KQL DB not this one. This is the folder which we have added Lab02. Correct. That's the workspace name. So when I select on this one, it is loading up this database and selecting this number of tables, and we have this columns inside to that. And from here, if I type the same thing, KQL sales, and select this and run this one, I can have the same information here. All right, even though we don't have any information to create a database from the home screen, maybe it will come in future. So, but still we can create a query set and then we can use that. And after that, after adding up the tables and other things, we can query using the query set for the same database here. We can connect from here as well. So we have multiple options. One, we can connect from the Lakehub, which is right now we are in, or we can also use existing Azure Data Explorer if we have anything on that. All right, that's a beautiful option that we have. So this is the getting started series of this real-time intelligence in Fabric. but we are going to dig deeper into this one in our future videos. And if you like this video, you got a glimpse about how you can access this KQL in the Fabric, just give a big thumbs up button and also press the subscribe button if you haven't subscribed to my channel. Thank you so much for watching till the end. If you have any queries and feedback, let me know in the comment section below. Thanks for watching. Keep learning. See you in the next video.